What would you do if you suddenly received bad news? Would you begin to grumble? Would you begin to complain? Would you begin to get upset? Would you go into mourning? What would your reaction be when bad news suddenly falls upon you? When we open our Bibles to the book of Job, we see in one day, Job was surrounded by bad news. In fact, he was immersed in it. He lost his business, he lost his wealth, he lost his children. It all happened in a day. Job was immersed in bad news. And when Job heard this, what was his reaction? Let's say in Job chapter 1, verse 20, it reads, "Then Job arose and tore his robe." That means he was upset. He was mourning and shaved his head and fell on the ground. And then it says there, and worshipped. He was surrounded with bad news and he worshipped. He just worshipped. He laid himself on the altar of God. He touched the heart of God. When we are surrounded by bad news, instead of being occupied by it, we need to be gripped by God. Because at the end, we need to understand God is fully able to turn your bad news to good news. God is fully able. And when we have that assurance of who our God is, the best that you can do is in that time when the storm is gripped you, when the bad news is surrounding you, just go on your knees and rest in God. Worship Him. Lift Him up. Exalt Him. You know, when you talk about worship, worship is nothing of the flesh, but it's all about being gripped by God. Just exalting God, lifting God up. Here we see Job in his bad times, lifting God, worshiping, exalting God. And what do we see? At the end, we see in the book of Job, God blessed Job double from what he lost. Why? Because he was a man, even when he was in that valley, he lifted up God. Even in that time where he was gripped with bad news, he worshipped God. And his situation did turn around. He saw God change it all. I want to encourage you, if you have been troubled with bad news, if you've been surrounded with situations that seem to be pulling you down, instead of being gripped by that, instead of keeping your eyes, your focus, your heart, your mind on the news around you, being troubled by it, just keep your eyes fixed on God. Worship Him, lift Him up, and I tell you, in due time, you will see God turn your situation around from bad news to good news. Come on, seek Him, worship Him, no matter what you hear, no matter what comes upon your life, no matter what the doctors have spoken to you, no matter what that boss of yours has told you, no matter what your neighbors are plotting against you. Instead of keeping your eyes on all these things, go on your knees, worship the Lord, and He will turn your situation around. He is fully able to turn your bad news to good news. God bless you.